Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole, and it's by user Zero Throw. Am I the a-hole for refusing to speak to my sister because she wouldn't let my daughter be a flower girl at her wedding? She originally was a flower girl, and causing multiple family members to boycott too? So I, 28 female, have a sister, 26 female, who got married last month. Also, we're not from the US. Anyway, I'm gonna be blunt. My sister has always been one of those people that has to have everything perfect, to the point that sometimes it was hard to be around her. But she is my little sister and I have no other siblings, so I always made excuses when she'd hurt me when I wasn't doing things right in her eyes. I was kind of worried when she asked me and my daughter, 4, to be bridesmaids, because I knew she was gonna be a massive bridezilla. Over the last few months, we've had to practice multiple dances, pay for very expensive dresses, and put up with her tantrums. I told her from the start that if she was in any way nasty to my child, I wouldn't stand for it. And she assured me she would never be nasty to her favorite person in the whole world. Well, now her husband's little cousin, 8, started coming to dance practice with her mom, and my sister started to ask her to do little things like show my daughter how to throw the petals. I honestly thought she'd make them both flower girls for a while, but when she started to make my daughter sit out practices and have the other little girl do her poem, I knew what was gonna happen, but prayed I was wrong. So I invited her out to coffee a few weeks before the wedding and asked her what was going on. She told me she was glad I brought it up because she was looking for the right time. Apparently, my 4-year-old wasn't doing everything right, and she was afraid she was gonna mess up her vision by saying the wrong thing or not dancing right on the day. I told her my daughter was doing a pretty good job and everyone was always praising her. My sister giggled and said, "It's not their day now, is it? So it's not up to us what's good enough for her wedding." I asked her straight up, did she think her niece wasn't good enough to be in her wedding, and she replied with, "Not for something as big as a flower girl, but to attend." I asked her how was I gonna break it to my daughter, who's excited about being part of the wedding, and she just told me to figure it out. I told her I'd give her a day to rethink her decision. If not, we wouldn't be attending and not speaking to her ever again. Then I left. Well, 2 days went by and I couldn't put it off any longer. I broke the news to my child. Even though I tried my hardest to sugarcoat it as much as possible, the news still broke her heart. She cried herself to sleep. So did I and my husband. Well, after a week, when I was a no-show for anything else, my sister started to panic and started to get every family member to talk to me and even drop off gifts for my daughter. When I told them why we weren't participating, a good number of our family, including bridesmaids, dropped out. We ended up going away for a few weeks with no phones. When we came back, my sister had sent me multiple letters and emails apologizing. And her in-laws and husband have called me an a-hole for doing what I did. I feel like I may be the a-hole because I could have tried to talk to my sister more and told the family not to take sides, but my anger wouldn't let me. Yeah, OP, no, you are absolutely not the a-hole in this situation at all. First of all, you didn't tell anybody to pick sides. You didn't tell them to boycott the wedding. They decided to do that by themselves. And as a father myself, I don't care who they are. If anybody breaks my daughter's heart, I'm done with them. I absolutely understand that you cried yourself to sleep, and your husband too, the night that your daughter did. Personally, I believe there are few things in this world that are as painful as seeing your children hurt. It's a mixture of sadness and impotence and frustration that you can't take away what's making them sad so that they don't have to feel it. I know that pain is a part of life and part of growing up, and that it will help them tolerate frustration in the future. But that doesn't mean that you don't feel bad for them. Anyway, screw your sister's in-laws or husband and your sister too. You are not the a-hole. And what do you guys think? What is your judgment in this situation? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see their judgment. Cat Bunny says, "Not the a-hole. For the people saying OP is the a-hole, consider. OP was expected to bring the child to the celebration after being told she was no longer going to be the flower girl. Yay! She gets to watch another child do the thing she was so excited to do and not make a fuss. Get a babysitter? Great! Watch her parents get fancy and leave to go to a celebration she is no longer a part of. OP's choice to not go to the wedding was correct. Her immediate family is more important than her sister. OP did not tell other people to not go to the wedding. She told them what happened when they asked. Everyone made their own decision. I am sure this was not the only crappy thing the bride was doing. Monkey Ruler 164 says, not the a-hole. Your sister asked a 4-year-old, then expected perfection. It's laughable. Yes, it's her wedding, but to ask a 4-year-old to be a flower girl and go through everything when in the end she's shocked a 4-year-old doesn't live up to her idea of perfection is just a moronic thing. Your family asked why you weren't attending and you told them. You didn't ask them to boycott. They made their decision. Your sister sounds like a nightmare and a crappy person. Personally, I think it's cute when little kids go off script during weddings. Calm Front 7908 says, not the a-hole. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. The giggle is what did it for me. Actually giggling at the thought of devastating your niece. And OP responds, yeah, she does that as a way of not sounding mean, like when someone says something rude by text but puts lol after it, or when someone smiles while insulting you. Additional information from OP's comments. My sister didn't reimburse me for the dresses we paid for. She thought till the day of the wedding I was gonna attend, so she wouldn't let anyone else buy them off me, but I did return them and got my £1,550 back in the end. The gifts she dropped off were dresses and shoes for my daughter to attend the wedding in, but I sent them all back to her. I don't want my little girl thinking it's okay for someone to mistreat her as long as they get her a present afterward. Well, nothing much to say here, I absolutely agree with the community. Now we're gonna move on to the update, which is a curation of different edits that OP made in her original post. So hold on and remember to breathe, because this is when it gets infuriating. My brother-in-law saw this post and told my sister, who cried while reading all your comments. How do I know? Because they showed up at my job knowing I wouldn't want to make a scene. They begged me to delete the post before people they know would see it, and they kept apologizing. Finally, my sister said that she might be pregnant, and I told her that even if she is, pregnancy doesn't wash away all the crappy things she's done, and I hope her husband's siblings never treat her child the way she treated mine, because I don't plan to be a part of her life. She busted into tears saying she was sorry and she loves my daughter, and I told her to leave before I called security. Her husband tried to talk to me alone because I was making her so upset, and everyone was cold towards them because of me. I told him no. Everyone was cold because Cinderella and Prince Charming forgot that after treating everyone like crap, no one wanted to be in their happily ever after. They didn't like my mocking tone and raised their voice at me. So my boss, who knows the situation and has a 5-year-old herself, so she's on my side, stepped up and told him to leave. My sister's mother-in-law reached out to my parents asking for everyone to meet up on neutral ground so we can all work out our differences. I'm gonna go to this dinner party because I want to hear their story and officially tell them to leave me alone. I will update you guys. So that's the first edit. Now let's move on to the next one. My sister's photographer saw this post and reached out to me on here. She knew my full name and she gave me her Instagram to confirm. And this goes deeper than my daughter not dancing. Right. Apparently, she overheard my sister's mother-in-law and aunt-in-law talking in the bathroom. They used racial slurs against my daughter and husband, and they called me the black man's floozy. The photographer said they were both drunk, but that my brother-in-law also made jokes around my sister earlier in the day, which she smiled at. She also thinks my family members heard this and it's the reason they dropped out. So yeah, my daughter wasn't a flower girl because, unlike me, her aunt or the other flower girl, she doesn't have blue eyes and blonde hair. If you're reading this, Sarah and Frank, F you and your family. My child is too good to be around trash like you both. Stay the F away from us. And to anyone in my family that knew the real story and didn't tell me, F you too. I've posted what happened in the group chat, the full story, and many people are outraged. They are washing their hands from her because there are people of color and mixed people in my family, cousins and spouses. But there's a few trying to defend her, so I guess they are the ones who knew. My parents are equally disgusted with my sister. I'm sorry if this is a mess, but I'm extremely overwhelmed right now. Also, I thought I'd answer a lot of questions that keep getting asked because I'm tired and will be going to bed soon. 1. My parents are fully on my side, and so are multiple other family members. The ones that aren't have been cut off. I've found out 3 family members, including a bridesmaid who dropped out, knew the whole time, and my uncle overheard things, not about my daughter, but about another uncle's wife, but wasn't too sure because he was drunk, so he didn't think to mention it. My husband and I hold nothing against my uncle because he is an alcoholic and it was an open bar, so you can guess the state he was in. 2. My daughter doesn't know the full story, but as a treat for all of us, we plan to take her to Disneyland for Christmas, and my parents have said they will join us. 3. As for my sister, some people have mentioned she might be in an abusive relationship. Well, her husband is from old money and his family is very well connected in England, which is something she always wanted, so I don't know. But if I believe she's being abused and was afraid to speak out, that's a different situation. But my husband will have to be on board with everything, and it's up to him to forgive her. 4. I've seen a lot of people making fun of the fact that I and my husband cried ourselves to sleep the night my daughter found out. We didn't cry about her not being a flower girl, nor did we cry while she was awake. We cried because our child was extremely hurt, and there's no worse feeling than your child thinking they're not good enough for someone they love. And for the commenter who was extremely nasty about my husband crying, a father's love is equal to a mother's love. Men do and are allowed to have emotions. Do better. Thank you everyone for the love and support, but especially thank you to the photographer who came forward. Thank you so much for bringing this to my attention before I let them back into our lives. You're a real one. And that's it. That's all the information I could get from this whole post. The sister's-in-law's family absolutely sucks, so it's a good thing that OP is going to have nothing to do with them. And in the case that OP's sister is not in an abusive relationship, it would make her a really crappy person because she traded being part of old money at the expense of her family. Anyways, OP, I hope you and your family have a lovely time in Disneyland for Christmas. Take care and thank you for sharing. And now we move on to the next post. This post is from the subreddit Petty Revenge and it's by user Rachel Harris 0628. Lead me on and be a jerk for a year? 2 can play that game. Some backstory first. So a while ago, like years, I was in an open relationship and I met this guy on Tinder. He was super nice at first and we hit it off. It was around Christmas time at that point, so I went over, we made Christmas cookies, watched Into the Spider-Verse, hooked up, and in general really hit it off. Keep in mind, we had been talking practically every day for about 2 months prior to actually meeting. After that first time we hung out, he started to become a huge jerk. Anytime he messaged me, it would be sexual in nature. He was ghosting me, leading me on, and blocking and unblocking me constantly. Then he would message me out of the blue and apologize and ask for another chance because he misses me. I forgave him 1 time and then after that told him straight up I wasn't interested anymore and that what he did was creepy. Despite this, he kept hitting me up even though I would turn him down every time. I'm a generally nice person, so after a while, I played nice but wouldn't let him even try to make a move. Well, randomly one day, he blocks me once again. I didn't even care really and moved on. 2 months later, I got a request from an account I didn't recognize, so I accepted it only to find out it was the jerk. He told me that he didn't actually block me, but that he just doesn't use that account anymore. This is a lie. I know it is because I can still see his story on the old account. I called his bluff and told him to get lost, and his response was, "Sorry for wasting your time." The revenge. Cut to tonight. A month and a half since I last heard from him. I get a message again. He asked me if I was busy and said that he misses hanging out. We only ever hung out once, and wants to hang out. It's 11:30 p.m. at this point, and I'm so pissed that he can't take a hint, so I start crafting a response. I told him that I wasn't busy and that I'd love to come over and pick up where we'd left off. How he fell for it after I've told him to buzz off last year, I have no idea, but he did. I acted as though I was getting ready and on my way. I stalled repeatedly by telling him I was stopping for gas and then saying I had to pull over because I got a phone call. I'm dragging this on, making him wait, and letting him get more and more excited. This jerk even took a shower before I got there just in case. All the while, I laid in bed, warm, eating chocolate and watching my plan unfold. I had messaged him that I was 3 minutes away and asked him to come outside because it's dark and I'm nervous. He told me he would. I sent him a message telling him I was outside, and in response he sent me a video of him standing outside in the cold and in a towel, waiting for me. Now came the real slap in the face. I sent him a long message basically saying that I wasn't coming. He's stupid to have fallen for it, and that I hope he feels crappy and confused and hurt, just how he made me feel. I told him that I hope he never reproduces because we don't need more jerks in the world, and then I promptly blocked him. My friend, who was on the phone with me the whole time, then sent him a request and he accepted. After the small talk, he told my friend that he was bummed because he hit up a bunch of people and everyone flaked on him, meaning I was the last person he hit up that night. The jerk went through all the trouble of getting ready just to be left cold and blue-balled. It's not huge, but I'm reading the biggest high. He was one of the worst people I've ever had the displeasure of meeting and bringing into my life, and I hope this got the message across this time. This guy truly deserves to be single forever. Anyway, jerk, if you're reading this, I hope you froze your balls off waiting for me. Middle finger emoji. Opie's edit for clarification. I did not play this game for years, nor did I let him live in my head as some of you have thought. I realized by the wording in my post that that's what it sounds like. He would message me, I would block him, and then forget he exists. Then he would create a whole new account and the cycle continued. My partner even messaged him to tell him to back off, but that didn't work either. This guy was relentless and obsessed. Edit 2 to say a couple of things. 1. I had blocked him over multiple platforms and from multiple accounts, but he was relentless. He was obsessed enough to even reach out to my friend to try and contact me. There was seriously something wrong with him. 2. Again, this has been going on for a long time, even before I was married. Yes, he does know I'm married and have a kid. Yes, my spouse has tried on multiple occasions to tell him to buzz off, but he would just block my spouse every time or block me if it was from my account. My spouse has always known about this and knows very well that I have no interest. I also consulted my spouse before I even executed the plan. Wow, that is stalky behavior. How can he think you'd get with him after he did all that? Yikes. Anyways, thanks for sharing, OP. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I really did enjoy reading them to you. So if you did, then don't be shy and go ahead and give the video a like. And don't forget to subscribe or even share this video with people that you might think will enjoy my storytelling. Also, if you have the time, go down to the video description and check out all the links I have for you, from our Discord community to my channel merch. And finally, I'd like to say thank you for watching. It really means a lot to me that you enjoy my videos. And having said all that, I'll see you guys in the next video.